What's up everybody, Succeed with Homie back again. Whether you're trying to rehab a knee injury or just build a better butt, it's really important to understand what the butt actually does anatomically in order to really design an exercise that works well for you. So, real quick, to really use the butt maximally, we gotta understand that it does 4 different things. It actually accelerates us from flexion to extension. It helps us get into abduction. It helps us get external rotation and hip and the upper fibers extension, hyperextension up here. So in order to really facilitate that, I've got to get into the 4 opposite positions. I've got to be able to get into flexion. I've got to be able to get into internal rotation, adduction, and a little tiny bit of lower flexion in the hip, and then maximally accelerate at all of that stuff. Now here's the reason I bring that up. If you've ever been into a gym before, you've done a step up, and step ups can do a decent job of getting me into flexion, but if most trainers teach this to keep the chest upright and the core neutral, you're missing 3 of the main functions of the butt. You're just going to torque into that knee and get all sorts of shear force here. Worse off, if you don't feel your butt working, what they'll do is they'll give you weights to try and increase the amount of muscle contraction, and this just loads the knee even more. So, I'm going to zoom in a little closer to try and get the key element that most people are missing. What I've got to create is the opposite of what the butt actually does. So I have flexion because of the step, yes, but what I also need to do is take my hips and rotate them in. That gets me that adduction, internal rotation, and then if I just lean forward a little tiny bit, that's actually going to get me that hip flexion that I really need to maximally contract. The big thing to understand is that the glute acts as an accelerator of all those motions with everything in the low back, in the inner thigh, inner quad, everything to get me into this type of position. Zoom out. Last thing I'm going to say on this, posture matters quite a bit, because in order to get into that position without torquing my spine around, I've got to get reciprocation of that rotation into this position. Opposite elbow is with the opposite knee. As I come up, I'm going to get a little bit of rotation, but it's with a nice neutral core into this position. And if I do it the other way, opposite elbow to opposite knee, exhale, come through. The last thing I'm going to say about this, I know I lied, but that last number 4 is hip hyperextension. So if your trainer's trying to tell you to keep up tall here, we're not working the upper fibers of the glute, and we're still leaving that lower back open for more injury. Yeah, I'm taking care of the knee, but I'm not taking care of up here. Lean back, but with a nice tight core. As I'm coming up, I've got to get this hyperextension of the hip. Not the back, but the hip, and that's coming from the upper fibers here. So as you come down, accelerate up with a nice good exhale through here. And if you're having knee issues with this, you can do all of this on a lower step just fine. Because all the actions of the hip and the upper quad, nothing to do with the knee. My knee's nice and safe down here. All I have to do is get more reciprocation of the turn right through here. The knee is safe, vertical shin makes that so. And I'm pushing through all of that good stuff, all right? Last thing, I know I'm terrible with the lasts, but remember these little tiny weights that people laugh at the gym? This is an exercise where these will actually come in really handy. This isn't a big heavy squat. What I usually do is I usually use this as a precursor to squats and lunges, just to kind of get that activation of the hip, that neuromuscular connection going on. But the idea is that because there's a lot of rotational elements in this, and I'm using this as an explosive acceleration move, I don't want big heavy weights, because if you slip even the littlest bit, you're going to screw yourself up. So these little tiny weights, when you add how much movement I'm getting through this, 1, 2, 3, 4 pounds, depending on how much strength and acceleration you want, is about all you're going to need. I max out on this about 5 pounds myself. There's no way I'm going to do this with 15s and 20s and try and get that much rotation especially when my low back is that vulnerable in a movement like this, okay? I hope this information was very helpful to you guys. If you have any questions at all about the butt or want to see more exercises like that, let me know. Otherwise, have a happy and healthy rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time.